Good morning, guys. So back to the morning. What an insane day yesterday, right? A huge dip. Options went up 300, 400% to a downside, and then after 2:30, 3 o'clock, options went up 700, 800% to the upside, right? And if you pay attention on the voice chat, all the admins and moderators and some of the other great traders that we have, there are a lot of valuable comments that are made on the chat, voice chat. Now we cannot take every trade, right? I mean, we also need to manage our positions, but there are a lot of great ideas shared on the chat, right? On the voice chat, there were a few great plays shared yesterday. One was the spy calls, 431s. They actually hit 700%. We called them pretty much at the bottom on the gap fill. That if we get the high of the day, the 431s are going for 50 cents. They can see 700%, and they hit $4 by the close, right? Actually, more than 700%, and but that was that. I wanted to get them at 40 cents. I did not get my fills. It was my own trade. I did not get the fill, but that's fine. I don't chase. The chart I have open here is the weekly chart. Just few things I do want to go over. Today is Thursday. I'm not expecting a big move to the downside or upside. There will be volatility, obviously, but I think we might just stay within the range of the daily candle from yesterday. From the weekly, I just want to go over something. If you guys see this, we're under the 50 MA. We had this reversal. We failed it. That usually signals when you see under 50 MA, when things happen like this, when even a stock, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly, once it's under the 50 MA, if it does not reclaim that 50 MA on the time frame, if you're looking at the daily, within 1-2 days, if it does not go back above the 50 MA and it stays underneath it, it's usually showing the signs of weakness. And here on the weekly, we are under the 50 MA. We have a nice little bullish candle so far forming, and I think which will be a nice little bullish candle into tomorrow as well. By the time we close tomorrow, because there is a lot of apparently there's a buy imbalance. Buy imbalance usually means certain things need to be bought. The stock needs to be bought either at the current price or the market price. So tomorrow we could see another rally, but are those rallies sustainable? Are they real? Are they true? Not really. There are actually short coverings that are happening and a bunch of other things. But with that, there's no call buying coming in. Right? When the call buying is not there, that means the big boys, or the big markets, market makers, funds, institutions, whoever you want to call it, people with millions and billions of dollars that they manage. If there's no call buying, they don't believe in the rally, right? That's a big hint. If those people don't believe in the rally because they're the ones that will be buying the majority of it, then the market is not going to go up, right? And here on the weekly, I do want to show you guys something. Back in 2018, similar things happened here. Now, obviously, past does not mean the same will happen, but just to show you guys, a lot of people probably got bulled up on this candle. They probably went long right here, right? If I show you guys in 2018, a lot of people probably felt good and they went long here. And then what happened the following weeks, right? What happened the following weeks, right? A lot of these things, for 4 weeks, there was a huge drop in the markets. All right, 300-point drop, all right, which is I think almost a 10% drop on SPX in the next 3 weeks. Now, can the same thing happen here? Of course it can, but is it going to happen? I have no idea. But given the certain circumstances, maybe we stay around 43, 4400 for some time. But I do believe this zone will happen. This zone is going to happen. It's just a matter of time when it happens. And when it's ready to happen, we will know we're going to catch it. It could be this month, next month, May, June, July. Who knows when it's going to be? But when it happens, we're going to catch it. All right. Now I'm just going to remove my drawings, go over some lines that I do want to show you guys. And another thing, guys, a lot of you guys, my stock life has conditioned many of you guys to play puts. Before you weren't, and now you only look to play puts. My only comments to you are, be careful if the VIX stalls or goes down, and if the market stalls and if the market loses volatility, call buyers are going to get slaughtered, and so will put buyers, right? So you be careful with your position sizing and what you buy. Don't expect just straight up and down in the markets, because sometimes when volatility goes down, there's a lot of chop that might happen, and if you get stuck in that chop, calls and puts will both lose value. All right, so your timing has to be a little bit, we cannot catch the exact top or bottom, but the timing has to be somewhat accurate. All right, and one level that matters the most today, we went over this yesterday on voice chat as well, and today it happens to be the volatility trigger level, SPX 4330. 4330 is likely to be the magnet. Right, what do I mean by magnet? We might go 50-30 points below or 50-30 points above, or maybe 4330 will be visited sometime through the day. But right now in the morning, 4330, if we hold above it, right, I'll go on the hourly chart so I can show it to you guys. So if I go on the hourly chart, This 43.30 level is right here. Now the question here becomes, if we hold above it, we will have some bullish sentiment, which will be roughly this zone right here. All right, this zone right here is a very important zone. Even in the past, when it was here, there was a lot of resistance and support at this level. All right, that's what basically it is. All right, so this zone, be careful playing it. We hold above it, we go higher, we hold below it, chances of downside are still there. Today is Thursday. A lot of premium is burnt, and then tomorrow we have quad witching, right? Our multiple options expire, and then we're expecting some volatility tomorrow as well. Now, can the tomorrow market can also rally? Of course it can, because there's still a lot of delta that needs to be dealt with, so they can still take the market back up high again tomorrow. All right, but today is going to be very tricky. Market can go up or down. I have no idea what's going to happen from here, but 43.30 is a very key level. All right, that's one. And then Chinese stocks, I do want to go over. Now, LB mainly went over all the charts last night, right? You guys attended, so he's been over a majority of these things. But if we look at the longer term time frame, if I go on the weekly, you know, I personally tried to catch the China bottom. I did try catching a bottom many times, right? And I got this Baba. I lost the most money on this ticker on Baba. I made a lot of money on it, but I lost the most money on Baba. Overall, my trades on Baba are actually red throughout my lifetime. Like, you know, just for transparency reasons, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you get stuck, right? Because I went pretty heavy last year in Baba, but because I did not expect such a huge drop. But on the weekly, the chart is still in a downtrend. A lot of people here are going to try calling bottoms just because Baba's at 100, it came down so much. And then obviously a lot of positive news are coming out of China. There's no doubt Baba can definitely see a bounce. It can definitely see a bounce all the way towards 120 and this zone, all right? But this zone needs to be held, and it needs to build a strong base. If a strong base is built here, we see that the Chinese economy, you know, they're announcing more good news, then we're likely going to go see higher. Today there should have been a gap up on China, but China is red. Usually when China is strong and the news come out, they have gap ups on their names, all right? But today there's no gap up. We're opening here. But does that mean it's weak? No. Let's just see what happens here. Maybe some profit taking happened. Maybe something came out. But for now, 50 MA is very likely, which is towards 115. Buying calls or puts again will be expensive, so be careful what you play. Or the best way to play these names, if you really want to take some risks, is buy equity or trades, right? Even if you catch a $1-2 on an equity trade, that's huge. And if you guys get used to that, you guys can make a lot of money and your account can build up. Even if you have a 10K account, if you have a $10,000 account, right, you can literally take this to 50K within 1 year trading equities alone on big names, right? On 10K, you don't have to go in with 10%. You can maybe go in $3,000 at a time on a position on equity, right? So let's say at 3,000, you buy 30 shares of Baba, just an example, which will cost you roughly $3,000. And now the ratio has to be in your favor. What do I mean by that? Let's say if Baba's trading at $100, right? And you have to manage it, micromanage obviously. Let's say you put your stop at maybe 99 or 98, maybe, just an example, right? Let's say 98, $2, you put a stop loss. And but what would you be looking at to the top side? So here your loss is $2 loss. But to the upside, your target may be 106, at least 3-to-1 ratio. On equity, we usually say 3-to-1 ratio minimum, and then we play accordingly. And your target may be 106 to the upside, which is a $6 win, right? And you make 3 trades like this. Let's say you make 3 trades and you're very picky with your trades. Even if 2 are right, you will be up in net profits, all right? And these profits slowly add up to a lot as your account builds. Then you can slowly start adding more shares of more things, right? So that's how we trade equity. Usually that's what we say, 3-to-1 ratio minimum, right? So 3-to-1 ratio minimum for a stop loss, right? 4 or 5-to-1 even better. And then if you're really bullish, and sometimes you will catch a nice little run, which will go up 10-20% on equity alone, all right? And or if you don't want a big loss, now what you do is basically, and if you want to keep it really tight, maybe your stop loss is 99.50 and your exit maybe 101.50, right? So $1.50 versus 50 cents, right? So that's how the stop loss and ratio you would calculate it. And then obviously at 101.50, you can see if you want to scale out or you want to hold it for further run. All right, so equity has a lot of power. Look into it. It's a great way. You know, I've been trading a lot of equity lately, as you guys know, and I'm catching some small moves in this market. I consider them safe because if the trade does go against me, my loss is very minimal. All right, so just keep that in mind. Tesla, for tomorrow, keep an eye on it. This name had a lot of flow a few weeks ago. This is one name that can. What happened here? This is one name that can run on quad bridging. All right, it's possible if it holds above. Obviously, we need to take out the highs from yesterday. If we take out the highs from yesterday on the daily, this is a chance that it can test the 50 MA. Is it going to happen? I have no idea. Obviously, the market will need some strength. Market S&P will need to hold, but this is one name that has a potential to run. Right, instead of a major trend line as well, I think is the trend line is here somewhere. Right, something like this. From the top, you can draw it, or here, or else we can draw it better. I think from, so basically from this area it starts, I think. So from here all the way to here. So let's see if we can hold above this trend line once we get above it. And I think Tesla can probably see this zone right here tomorrow, which happens to be roughly 881. Right, so keep an eye on Tesla for tomorrow. It can probably run, but the market has to stay strong, obviously. And if we give up all the gains today, then not much, right? Today something like this can happen also in the market. We give up gains, and then Friday we basically rally back to yesterday's high. All right, so something like this can also happen. Amazon, Kimani, if you're listening, this is a daily chart on Amazon, right? And let's see what this trend line says, right? There are two trend lines that I drew here, right? Not too accurate, but almost there. But I think Amazon, if we can hold above this zone, you asked what are the levels on Amazon. If we hold above this zone and the market is strong and we do end up rallying, the first major zone on Amazon will be right here, which is roughly just above 3,200. All right, and obviously we will have to get through this level right here. We would have to get through this level zone right here for this, which is roughly above 3,150. All right, so on Amazon, keep an eye. Again, don't get too bullish just yet, guys. This is exactly what the market does. They make you super bullish of one candle, but then you forget what happened the last week. All right, and on the dailies, if I go, don't forget that we made the lows just last month on the 24th, right? And next week, what happens, we'll see. All right, so I mean, it's good to catch these moves if they happen. If you don't catch them, there's no need to rush, because you will likely get the option much cheaper when VIX is down. So if we go on the VIX just very quickly, it's just at the 50 MA, it's still above 27. I would still not buy calls. Even if it comes and tests 24, I will wait to see what happens. But so far, what's different here, VIX is kind of falling. So what will happen here, if VIX comes down more, S&P is likely to rally. But can it stall here at these levels? Absolutely. Can something like this happen? Right? Can something like this happen? A little chop right here. You guys see this? This is a very dangerous zone for bulls and bears. This right here. Basically, when something like this happens, nobody wins. All right, nobody wins but the market makers. When something like this happens, nobody wins but the market makers. All right, can the same thing happen here? That's what I'm personally expecting to happen, right? That we consolidate between these ranges and nobody's gonna win, and then obviously reality is gonna hit the market one more time, and then we head lower in the coming weeks. All right, so just have that in your mind. On Qs, same thing, huge rally on daily, nice little volume. I think we're it's gonna go towards the 50 MA. At 50 MA, it will be another chance for me to add on to my shorts. My first short add-on will be Apple. I'm patiently waiting for it. I think Apple comes and tests 165, and 165 will be a beautiful play for me if Apple gets there, right? At 165, I will likely buy some spreads and ride this thing maybe lower, or maybe sell some premium up here at the top, right? Apple's not gonna make new highs for a while. I don't think so, unless they announce some crazy news that come out in the market. And Warren Buffett, he keeps buying Oxy. The stock is very extended, right? On the weekly, a huge squeeze, but again, it can hold here and squeeze much further, right? So let's see how this one plays out. I'm not playing this name, right? I think it's already too extended, but just to keep an eye on it. PVR, another name that I'm keeping an eye on. If we can consolidate here for a little bit longer, for another few weeks, I think this stock might break out in the coming weeks, right? And we'll go over the analysis of this later on. Yash loves this name also, right? So here above this resistance, we're just consolidating. If we can hold above here, this name can see 18 and 20. First, we alerted this name right here a few weeks ago. If you're on our Instagram, we gave you guys this as a stock pick of the week, right here on this bull flag, and then there was a nice little rally that happened here. All right, and UPS, this chart is actually looking bullish, right? This is, I think, after playing so many puts on so many names, we nailed all of them. This is my first red, I think, so far. On the weekly, cannot ignore the fact that this looks bullish as hell. This chart is very bullish as long as we hold about 217, 220. Some of you guys, I keep telling you, don't average. Well, I mean, you know, I'm not your advisor or anything, but I share my opinion. You don't average down on puts just because they came down. That's a very wrong idea of playing the market like that. You don't average down like that. There's nothing that's building up here for you to say that, you know, as soon as UPS took out these levels, As soon as UPS took out these levels right here, right, that was a clear signal that wait on your puts. There was no reversal signal here. Some of you guys are adding puts just because you added them at $80, $90. Now they're at $20. You want to average down. That's not how you average down. That's just gambling your money away. It's better to let this UPS run. Maybe let it come towards 227 if it really has strength. We have FedEx earnings, and if it comes here and gives us a little reversal signal, instead of averaging down so much because now you're so much out of the money, you will buy more time. Maybe you buy May puts, maybe May put 200 strike. All right, so you go further out. You don't buy the same average down. You don't need to buy the same strike. You buy more time, a closer strike. Now let the other puts just stay there, or maybe stop out of them and transfer money into a different strike. Right? Some of you guys, your average down is not on point. You might hit your average down once, twice, right? But in the longer run, if you get into the bad habit of averaging down, you're likely going to give back a lot of your gains. All right. I still have my original position. I averaged down a little bit here, right? But some of you guys are averaging down here. It's not worth it. Trust me. UPS, there's nothing bearish about this chart. To be honest, there's nothing bearish. The only thing is market sentiment. And if UPS rips here, holds, this is probably going to go to 240, 250. Who knows? Maybe I'll buy a call. I have no idea. Right, so sometimes you have to switch your switch. We're not going to be right every single time. It's held the weekly 50 MA. This was one stock that was actually holding throughout the entire dip, right? So we were playing with fire here, right? But again, it looked a very good short, right? It's okay, but the chart looks bullish for now, right? And then FedEx has earnings today, I believe, and also on a weekly reversal. If FedEx announces something, let's see what their comments are, and if this dips a lot on earnings, then there's a good chance that UPS might form a little reversal on the weekly tomorrow if the market is weak. Then maybe I'll buy more puts. But until there's no clear signal, why am I going to go buy puts again, right? So that's that, guys. Thank you. Just manage well. No need to rush. On voice chat, our premium chat is open. You guys seen how we trade now in the many of you guys in the trial. Manage, patience, position sizing. We'll see you back in the chat.